Hey guys, a little bit of a paint update here. I'm waiting on some brake parts to come in, so I began the rattle can priming process here for the muscle truck clone effect here. Kind of hard to see. The truck's in the garage right now because of the brake situation, which I'll bring up in a minute. But it's trying to still replicate, where the cut lines are for the primer. Obviously, you can still see primer lines. I haven't sanded it yet or done any of this stuff to make it look a little better, but I still got to do the under area there on the front. But it's pretty close. And of course, I have my orange paint for the rear fender, but that has to come off for that, so I didn't do that yet today. But it's kind of pretty close. It's getting there. It definitely has a different look to it now than with the blue, for sure. And of course, I said, if I wanted to make the truck, nice at any point, I'm probably going to vinyl wrap it. So none of this really matters because the original paint was shot anyways. But yeah, I threw on my first coat of clear lacquer on the bed wood, which really made it a lot. It brought out the color of the wood and the grain a lot more. The initial stain that I bought and used was had like a gloss mixed into it. It was barely any, though. It wasn't really a lot. So I got an individual can of just gloss and laid that on here, and another hour or so I can add a second coat. I'll probably do like 3 coats. Really want to build it up to where it's like super glossy and shiny and has like some depth to it. And I also got a handle that I'm going to mount on here to lift the bed floor up, and some hinges that I'm going to hide up underneath there, I think, to make the bed floor rise to get access to the fuel tank. Because I think I want to try not to cut a hole in this for the fuel tank. I think I want to try to just make it so I can just lift it up and then drop it down for access on that, just to give it a cleaner look. But yeah, at some point I guess I'll have to take this fender off, and I'm going to have to primer it. I'm going to have to primer it gray in order to have a lighter, undercoat to make the orange really come out. Yeah, that's where I'm at right now. Looking at pictures of the actual muscle truck and stuff to compare, where the primer is, what the different primer colors are, and how they line up and all that jazz. Can't help but feel like the real muscle truck is still like a lot lower yet than my truck, just like a lot lower. But I couldn't imagine this truck being that much lower than it is now. I mean, seems like it's pretty low now, and to lower it too much more, I don't know. I mean, I put the 1-inch blocks in the back now, and that decreased the rake quite a bit, but also I feel like it got the stance where I want it. But if I were to go too much lower, I mean, I'd have to put I'd have to swap out the 1-inch block and maybe go like considerably lower. I mean, maybe another 1.5 inches, and then I'd have to change out the springs in the front to get the front down accordingly. I don't know. Kind of happy with it where it sits right now. I mean, down the road, if I wanted to lower it more, I always can. But to C-notch it just seems like a super bitch to cut the frame and have to do all that. And I mean, I know it's reinforced when you do it correctly and all that, but I don't know. To me, it still seems like I don't know. It seems like it decreases the truck-like functionality and the frame strength to do that. I mean, never say never, but that's just how I feel right now. I'd rather not C-notch it if I don't have to. All right, guys. Well, this was just a quick update on what I did with paint. It's not even done yet. I still need to do the fender, and I need a couple more coats and some sanding to make the spray, the aerosol spray can lines disappear and all that stuff. So I'm going to work on that a little bit more. All right, guys. As always, thanks for watching. So this is coat 2 of the high gloss lacquer from Midwax on the wood bed. I laid it on way thicker today. You're trying not to let it seep through the cracks on everything, but yeah, I just laid it on really thick today, as opposed to the first coats and yesterday's first gloss coat. I'm really trying to build it up now, get that high sheen It's probably going to need yet another thick coat to get it where I want it. But like I stated before, this is like crap wood. This is not high quality lumber from Lowe's. This is the bottom dollar shit. And even at that, you know, it cost me, you know, when supplies it was like $70. But actually no, 85 now since I bought the gloss lacquer. Still a lot less than 700 from LMC for the full kit. But at any rate, I think you'll agree and you can see that even with the crappier quality wood, with the stain and a really high gloss coat of thick coat of high gloss lacquer, it really brings out all little details and grain in the wood and makes it look a hell of a lot better just by doing that. So even with like lower quality wood, boom, it just makes a huge difference. You know, it was never going to be perfect. That's why I didn't, you know, do all this detail sanding, and you know, the planks are just off just a little bit up there at the end. You know, it's never going to be perfect. It just, I wanted it to look good and be functional for you know, hauling light stuff and not get scuffed up and all that. And that's part and parcel to where I'm doing these really thick coats of lacquer to prevent that from occurring. So this is where I'm at now. I don't know if you can see it. It's hard in the garage to see with the light and stuff, but I think it looks pretty good. I'm glad I went with the ebony because as I had a feeling it was not going to be nearly as dark as it looked on the can. But I didn't want a lot of red in the wood. I wanted it more of a dark color, so go with more stuff. But yeah, it's coming out pretty good. Yeah, like that other can of gloss was, I'm gonna say like 16 and change, maybe like $17. So all in all, probably like a little over $85. But again, with the hardware and all that, you can't really beat it. And of course, I'm lacquering over the hardware so that even though they're zinc coated hardware here, it's going to be rust resistant, but now they'll really be rust resistant with the gloss coating over them. So yeah, just an easy little job for me to do this morning, and it'll be dry, you know, to the touch by hopefully late this afternoon, this evening. When it starts to get super hot in this garage, it's going to help it cure a lot quicker, and then I might be able to get a third coat on it tonight before I go to sleep tonight, and that'll cure overnight to the touch and keep this project rolling to where I can get this really thick gloss coat built up on here. So that's it for this morning, and I will keep you guys posted.